There were a number of roads I thought about going down with this column/video about the Florida State starting quarterback. From the play he made after the inexplicable fumble on the goal line last week against Georgia Tech, to the much more animated way he shows his displeasure during a game, to the way he hates, and I mean hates, talking about himself to people like myself. There are a number of fascinating storylines to the 2022 version of Jordan Travis. But I think by far the most important one is the one we've all noticed now for 8 games. He's just a really good college quarterback. And I think it's fair to say he's better than any of us could have expected him to be. As we prepare for the rivalry showdown in Coral Gables, I mean Miami Gardens, whatever we call it, Joe Robbie, pro player, whatever they call it, this Saturday night, I think it's a good time to take a step back and really look at just how much Jordan Travis has improved in the last 2 years. It's almost unimaginable, really. I think the last 2 Miami games are a perfect barometer, in fact. In 2020, Travis was backing up James Blackman that night in Hard Rock Stadium for the Seminoles. He was used as a receiver and as a running back more than he was a quarterback during that 52-10 beatdown. Last year, he was considered by everyone to be the second best quarterback in the game. Tyler Van Dyke, with good reason, had become a sensation for the Hurricanes and was lighting up every defense he saw. Meanwhile, Travis was struggling to throw for 200 yards in any game. Travis made the biggest throw of his career in that comeback win over Miami and finished up the 2021 season strong enough, but still he was ranked as the 58th best quarterback in the nation according to ESPN's QBR ratings, which, I have no idea how it works, but it's something that measures things, so I'm going to include it. This year, Travis is 13th in the country in that same metric, so he went from 58th to 13th. Last year, Travis was ranked as the 24th best quarterback in the country by Pro Football Focus at the end of the year. Right now, as we speak, or as you listen to this, Travis is ranked number 3 in the country, number 2 in the Power 5, behind Drake May at North Carolina, ahead of Bryce Young, Hendon Hooker, C.J. Stroud, everybody else, if you can believe that. Again, these are just metrics. They aren't set in stone. By no means do I think Jordan Travis is having a better year than Hendon Hooker or Bryce Young or C.J. Stroud, and I'm certainly not saying I wouldn't trade for any of those guys. But man, through 8 games, there's really no denying he's been one of the best quarterbacks in the United States. What a journey. And I don't think it's something that we fully appreciated. Just because we get caught up in the week-to-week, play-to-play machinations of a season, we don't allow ourselves at times to take a step back and say, wow, this kid is so much better than I thought he could be. So with that in mind, I asked both head coach Mike Norvell and offensive coordinator Alex Atkins about Travis this week and what, if anything, has changed about him as a person since they started coaching him back in 2020. He's always had that you feel it with him because he wants it so bad, Norvell said. He works for it. He really does. But I think his ownership of the impact he gets to make is what's really kind of grown, because he knows he means so much to this team. Norvell brought up the second half of the Louisville game in which Travis didn't play because of a lower leg injury as an example of how his starting QB can impact the team on and off the field. It's the passion that he has to want and will his team to win. He wants to play at an elite level. After the 41-16 win over Georgia Tech on Saturday, Travis emphatically remarked in his post-game press conference that he didn't want to lose another game this season. Norvell said he practiced angry following the bye week, which just happened to coincide with a 3-game losing streak in which Travis played well at times, but also struggled in critical moments. The second quarter versus Wake Forest and the second half versus NC State as prime examples. As Norvell said, Travis has always wanted to win. He's a competitor. He now seems to be embracing everything that comes with being the starting quarterback at a program like Florida State. And once again, it comes back to that word. Ownership, Atkins said. One of the easiest things as a player is to point the finger out or point it at me. I think there are some things that he cannot control, but there are some things he can control. So he takes ownership. He's a competitor. He's always been that way. But I think as he's getting older and more comfortable in the offense, he's just a competitor and he's taking ownership in everything that happens. And in that position, that's a lot of weight on you. Neither Norvell nor Atkins think it's a coincidence that after stewing on a losing streak and having that angry week of practice, Travis had a career-high 396 yards passing against Georgia Tech. We got to talk to Travis on Wednesday. Again, I would guess he ranks talking to the media right behind staring directly into a solar eclipse on his list of favorite things to do. He's not rude, but you can tell he's not a huge fan of talking about himself at all. Still, that didn't persuade this intrepid reporter from asking him about himself, specifically what he thought his coaches meant when they talked about ownership. I would just say the whole leadership aspect, Travis said. Going to talk to your guy when he makes a mistake, but learning how to talk to your guy. Everyone's different. You can't go curse somebody out if they don't like that. You've got to talk different types of ways. So I think I'm just learning that. And I'm taking ownership, doing what I have to do to win. He then paused himself, caught himself, because he doesn't want to make it all about him. Help win the game is what he said. He was going to say what I have to do to win the game. He caught himself and said, help win the game. I feel like I'm learning to protect my body, just little things like that. I'm maturing every single day, but I can't do it without my teammates. I'm thankful for them. Travis says that literally almost after every question he's asked. They're thankful for him too. Micah Pittman especially, it would seem. The Oregon transfer said Travis is one of his best friends on the team, and while we might not all be surprised how well the FSU quarterback has played in 2022, We're all surprised by it, probably. His new best friend certainly isn't. He saw it immediately when he got to Tallahassee. He's an incredible athlete, Pittman said. He can make plays. He can extend plays. He looks down the field. He throws a good ball. I mean, there's a lot of things he can do. I feel like for him, growing as one of his good friends, all he needed was a coach who believed in him. And Coach Norvell has invested the full year in believing in him and giving him the opportunity and making him feel he's valued in this offense. And he trusts him. So he feels he can go out there and play confident. That's really all it is about as a player, as a coach who truly believes in you. Jordan Travis is making believers out of plenty of people. And if he can go get himself a second straight win over the Hurricanes this Saturday night, Jordan Travis might just convert the rest of his non-believers as well.